almost 2 years ago, the governor had to declare a state of emergency on the roads. It was like Lagos was actually full of potholes.
All right.
It was a beehive of potholes. Any road that you went down, there was no road that was actually sacrificed, that you could say that was spared. Major arterials, the Ikorodu Road, everywhere, the nooks and crannies, it was like, this is not the face of Lagos that we all knew.
Right. Let me see if I can do something about this, your microphone, because it's not really projecting very well. But go ahead. You were saying, so Lagos was ridden with potholes during that period.
Yes. And so when you look back now, from then till now, and you look and you see what exactly we have done with the infrastructure, what we met on ground, what we have done in terms of upgrade, and then what we're still even doing, I think that in our modest achievement, I would want to say we have done well. So let me start by saying, as the Minister of Works and Infrastructure, we have done in total about 51 projects.
Okay.
And totaling about 44.8 kilometers. In addition to that, there are four other agencies under Ministry of Works. It's not just MOE itself, together with LASIAMA, of course, is the Lagos State Infrastructure Asset Management Agency.
Right.
So you have LASIAMA, you have the Public Works Corporation, because most times what comes to mind to people is Ministry of Works, Public Works. There are other agencies under the Ministry of Works. So just as you have LASIAMA, you have Public Works, you have the material testing, and you have the LASIMRA.
Right. So just 1 second. I'm going to see if I'm going to adjust this. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. This is your side mirror. A brief break. We'll be back. Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. All right then, so we were just looking at where we are and how far we've come in these 2 years with Works and Infrastructure. Honorable Aramide Adeyoye is here with me. So you were talking about what the ministry has been able to do in these 2 years, and I did hear you mention 51 projects. Is that correct?
Correct.
Let's talk about that.
So, like I said earlier on, 51 projects, 31 on Ojokoro network of roads in Ifakojayi local government. You had 4 in Shomolu, Eyuwawi, Salami, Fadikwe, and Olabinjo.
Right.
You also had on the Lagos Ota boundary roads projects where you had Suburioje, you had Ota, and you had Makinde. And you had the bridge. There was a bridge component about it. You have in the Victoria Island area, you had roads like Adeyoye, you had Moshood Olugbani. You also had Jidoki. Those were roads completed in addition to the Oniru Saku, a PIP initiative. Of course, everybody knows that we had Access Bank partner with the Lagos State government under that program, the Private Sector Improvement Partnership Program available.
Okay.
And so those roads were also commissioned. You also had Akiumi and Ladipo in Mushin as well. Right. Aside from the 31 network of roads. So in total, you had, and then of course the flagship one was the Penn Cinema Bridge. So
yes.
Altogether, you had that, and then you also had the Tedimo My Turn project.
All right.
And aside all of the other ongoing ones. So 51 completed, adding an improved stock of 44.8, almost 45 kilometers onto the road network in Lagos area.
Beautiful.
And then aside from that also is all the interventions from the Public Works Corporation, totaling about 632 roads.
Okay.
And the vision for the Ministry of Works is that we'll provide will have a qualitative infrastructure that supports the entire economic growth and development for Lagos State.
Right.
In doing that, of course, our ministry, the mandate that we all is just make sure that we have a critical development driver. Okay. For the state's vision of being Africa's mega city plan. Right. And then at the same time also make sure that infrastructure it's to the world-class standard that will be able to support the teeming population of the state.
Right.
So the Teams pillar, it's T. The capital T is where we sit. We're seated in the T agenda. That's transportation and traffic management.
Right.
And this ministry, together with the 4 agencies, are rightly located there.
Let's talk about these agencies. What are the agencies under the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure?
So there's the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure seated as the main ministry, and then you have the LASIMRA. LASIMRA is an acronym for Lagos State Infrastructure Management Regulatory Agency. Right. You have the LASIAMA, that's Lagos State Infrastructure Lagos State Infrastructure Asset Management Agency. Right. And then you also have the material testing, Lagos LMTL, the Lagos Material Testing Lab. Then you also have the Public Works Corporation. So those are 4 agencies that are under Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. All right. So by the mandate that we have, by the extant laws, and of course, everybody knows that on March 12th, you had everybody listened that after about 12 years, Ministry of Works and Infrastructure returned back to what it was before, where you had the Works Department separate, and then you have the Infrastructure unit as well separated. So Ministry of Works and Infrastructure has 2 permanent secretaries now. And the whole idea is it's for efficiency, delivery of efficiency, so that we can improve on our in doing this as well, we're focusing on the intermodal transport system and ensure that there is connectivity using the intermodal transport system, and at the same time also have the urban regeneration focus of Mr. Governor in mind. So every project that we have selected, it's not by accident. You can actually connect the dots. That's why I said once there's a transport master plan, all you need to do is connect the dots. And you do that by prioritizing. You look at what are the investments around that area, what do you need to link up. That's exactly what we have done. So Pen Cinema for us falls within, and Mr. Governor rightly said it. He said we will complete projects that fall under the themes agenda, because the themes agenda was well thought through. That's a developmental agenda that speaks to the way Lagos should be, the vision that we have for Lagos. So you look at Pen Cinema. Pen Cinema falls rightly under that. What are we trying to do? We're trying to move the gridlocks. The gridlocks in Pen Cinema, everybody knows that you had 5 junctions, critical junctions at that place. So it was always a bottleneck point. And it was not difficult to say this actually falls within the team's agenda. When we came on board with the project was at about 20% stage, and we needed to drive it to finish because we knew the benefits that would accrue in completing this.
All right. So a lot now, but in prioritizing, let's look at that now, because a lot of times people tend to ask questions, and I was just, talking about this yesterday. Somebody still asked the question on this program to say that
under the team's agenda, we know we're seated in the transportation and traffic management, so you want to remove the gridlocks in major arterials. The second thing is you want connectivity. And then the third thing is that connectivity is in line with the intermodal transport system. The fourth thing also is that you also will end up regenerating areas that actually have already gone down. So that urban renewal is coming up. The intermodal transport connectivity is there, and then you also work in line with the strategic transport master plan. Once those 4 points, so once you pick a project, we see exactly how does it fit. Once you can tick this 4, that project will be taken, and that is what has informed us to say we'll do the regional road, because the regional road is a precursor to the 4th Mainland Bridge. We're taking the 4th Mainland Bridge. We know what exactly it is. We know the model for operations. Okay, so regional road is a road that takes off from picks up from VGC and goes to the back of the Ikota River, and then comes at the back of Elegushi, and then goes out and comes back by Freedom Way. So by the Freedom Way. So you will notice the 4th Mainland Bridge is also another road that is designed to take off from Ebamadeso Junction at the back of Badore, go over the river, and then through Bayeku, and then come out by the Sparklight. So that's why I said the regional road is a precursor to the 4th Mainland Bridge. You needed to do this so that you can reduce the bottleneck on Lekki Express.
So how far with the regional road right now?
So it's ongoing. It's ongoing. The contractor is very much on site. Dredging works, I think, is at about 40% completed now. They've done some piling, also so all the pet bridges around 4 locations. The piling is completed, so it's on course. So we had a 24-month schedule. We've had downtime like 3 months or 4 months. But I think all in all, the contractor will mitigate the delays that we had earlier experienced. But it's running. You have roads like Obashe Kumade. Obashe Kumade is a 2.5 kilometer road that leads to the jetty. It's also called Ipakudo Road, just as they call it Obashe Kumade Road. It leads to the jetty, so you have the light barge terminal. That the MPA, there's a light barge terminal, so we have a jetty there that people can use, and you can connect using intermodal transport system. And I'm glad that the last mile bus was inaugurated some days back.
That's right.
So you can access it, and together with Lamata, the bus laybys have all been identified. So even in our design, we took note of that, cognizance of that right from day one. And then you can use that road. So you can go by road, you can also go by the jetty. And then you also have, aside from Obashe Kumade Road, you also have a road like Ijede. Ijede Road. Ijede Road is a 6-kilometer road that has been completed now, ready for commissioning. As part of this program.
Let's rewind a bit. The Obashe Kumade Road, has it been completed?
No, it's ongoing. It's ongoing now.
Okay.
So, but you can feel the road. The contractor is working on the road. It's a rigid pavement. It's a concrete rigid pavement. We've had to change the specification of that road, given the axle loadings of the kind of vehicles that go there.
All right.
Mark you have it, like I said, it's MPA, the lighter back terminal, the Korodu lighter back terminal is there. So you have a lot of articulated trucks coming out from that end. So it's not a flexible pavement, it's a rigid pavement that you have in there.
All right.
People like Sacha, when they talk about 4th Mainland Bridge, there's a lot of skepticism around that people think that will this ever take place? And I can tell you with every sense of fairness and truth that there's no reason why this shouldn't take place. Even though the Third Mainland Bridge was finished over 30 years ago, we ought to have had the Fourth Mainland Bridge. One of the things that the project each time that it was decided that they would do was people couldn't see the openness around it. So what Mr. Governor then did was, you know what, we'll be very transparent about this from day one. Anybody from any part of the world or any concessionaire can come. And so how do we even, it starts from the way you place your advertisement around. And so we did this, the expression of interest was done.
All right.
Worldwide, same time, for everybody that could be a participant could come up and say, I want to come and do this. We knew that we could not take this on our own budget, normal budgetary provision as we have. So it had to come by way of financing, and we opted for the PPP model.
Right.
In doing that as well, once you're transparent, there is no investor and you don't change the rules in the middle of the game. There is no investor who will not come. So the enabling environment must be there. The respect for sanctity of agreements must also be there.
All right.
That we have already assured, and those things are in place. Right now, what I said at the ministerial press briefing 2 weeks back, it was clear we have a 6-step process towards attaining the Fourth Mainland Bridge financial closure. Right now, we're in step 3. So we have done, the expression of interest has been concluded, where 51 people did come up with the expression of interest to say, we'd like to do this.
Okay.
We then sifted to say, who qualified.
All right.
And narrowed down to 32. Of the 32, we then did all of this, and then still came down to 10. And then from the 10, we have the 6.
Okay.
In that process that we were doing all of those ones, we also ensured that our data room was filled up. So what do you have in your data room? You have all of the ideological studies done. You have all of your EIA, your environmental assessment studies done.
Right.
You also have your preliminary design reports, everything done. You have all of your traffic daily counts. You update all of what you had, because we had some data before. All we then did was update what we have. So the data room is full of all of this.
Okay.
We also did some GPR studies, the ground penetrating radar studies around, so you knew what utilities were looking like. All in a bid to ensure that you get to as close information, really close, accurate information that you want to put in data room, that investors can come and you give them, and then they then bring their proposals for assessment.
Land Bridge in Lagos.
By the grace of God, I think we would have.
For certainty.
Yes. It's something that we will appreciate will be done. Yes, we've noted that, but the reason why we do roads because the form there's connectivity to it. You just don't pick a road from any end and just fix. You must be able to put a dot, cross from your A to your B to your C. So that's exactly what we do. But Joseph will look at this, how far it is away from the roads that we're doing in Koshofe, and see what connectivity advantage you can have.
Okay.
If it's something that we can take up, we'll note it, and if it's something that will come under rehab for PwC, also we'll look at it.
All right. Jonathan from Egbeda.
Mr. Jonathan from Egbeda also talked about PADA. What does Ministry of Works do? By the extant laws, every ministry, you have what the extant laws that sets you up. In the Ministry of Works, the extant laws is clear that we would conceptualize, we'll design, and then we'll construct roads and bridges. Mushin, there's Akiumi and there's Ladipo. Those 2 roads have been constructed, but I will tell you something, and that's why it comes to the issue of ownership. My first visit to that site, I almost wept, because even before the contractor finished, you could see the way that road was plasticized. You would see the rubbish, you would see the median, the markets people, the spare parts. You will see all of engines, that the median barrier, how they had used engine blocks to be able to damage all of those things. The diesel on the good thing is that road is in rigid pavement. If it was in asphalt, I'm sure the Akiumi will not survive. So right. Akiumi and Ladipo, there are 2 roads that go along. The only thing that has not been completed in that is the street lighting.
Okay. And
I think that is already connected now. The last 1 month, the contractor has gone back to finish it. There were issues with the connection points, but that's resolved. I will. Otumarotimi, if you can hear me very well, Igbo Vayeku deserves to be done. And like Mr. Governor will always say, if all the money in this state will put it in infrastructure, this ministry will consume it, because they actually have all the roads. It's in their head. They know what to do.
Right.
So Igbobayeku the designs have been completed. It's been completed, and like you all know, it's all about finances.
Okay.
But they like he rightly said, interconnectivity. When we're doing a road, why do we select a road?
Right.
You select a road because it fits into the strategic transport master plan. You do it because it actually there's a connectivity using the intermodal transport system. And then he said something. You also will do some form of urban resolution, and then also you will add there will be a lot of socio-economic development. This road qualifies under that category, and we're already looking at it.